Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lobo. The channel is called Zoo PF Visual Effects. Of course guys, this is a visual effects channel. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you actually enjoyed that video intro that you're still watching right now, you guys know what to do. Please like and subscribe, as it always helps me make more video tutorial contents like this for you guys, okay? And for those of you who are visual effects artists, I know you already know how to do this, but that's totally cool. If you can still learn a few things from me, that's awesome, because it's all about learning from each other, like going out there and creating something very cool, okay? That being said guys, I really want to be able to do this full time. As you guys can see, I can only come up with one tutorial per week, and sometimes it takes a little longer because I have other things I have to take care of. If we can do this and make this a full-time job for me, I can come up with almost every day come up with a tutorial for you guys, okay, and leave the big ones for the weekend. But that being said, there's a link down below to my Patreon channel. If you guys want to be patron of the channel, that would be awesome guys, and I would thank you guys so much for that, okay? Also, there is a link of a folder that you guys need to download so that you guys can follow along with the tutorial, okay? That being said, let's pause this really quick and let's talk about the software that we are using. We are using Adobe After Effects. Over the years, After Effects has become better and better. My hope is that one day it becomes a full-fledged video game application software. I needed to take a pause in my head to just fathom how big that would be for Adobe, okay? The next thing we're working on and using is Element 3D. Okay, Element 3D is the best thing that's ever happened to After Effects, and because of that, After Effects and then the Adobe team really have to up their games to be able to keep up with software like Element 3D. Okay, Andrew Cameron's team did a wonderful job. Thank you there, Andrew, and your team. The next thing is, oh my gosh, I can't get over this, guys. Megascan Quixel. Okay, this is where it's happening, guys. You want to create things that look super real. This is it right here, okay? And these are mostly utilized in 3D modeling application software or video games. That's why it looks this real, okay? And this is what I'm trying to say, so that Adobe After Effects and Element 3D begin to mold themselves around this right here, Megascans, okay? Because we can't yet do things in After Effects and Element 3D that you can do in a 3D modeling application software or a video game engine. If we can do that with After Effects and Element 3D, guys, that would be amazing, okay? That would be amazing, all right? That's just it right there. Okay, that being said, let's minimize this and let's focus on our scene right here, okay? As you guys can see, this scene actually looks really real. It almost looks like it came from a film, and that's exactly where I want to be heading toward my visual effects, okay? Now, let's go ahead and start a new composition, and we're just gonna call that base destruction. And I'm gonna do everything 4K, leave everything at 24 frames, okay? That's film style right there. I'm also gonna create a new folder and just call that tutorial. And I'm gonna throw my base in here, and boom, just like that. Okay, now that we are here, let's go and go to layer. Oh, you have to click here first, then go to layer, new, and solid, and same thing, just call that base destruction, okay? 4K for me, and go down to effects, video Copilot element. Once we are here, click scene setup, and once we are here, let's go ahead and create a new folder writer where we'll just call that master folder. All right, okay, it has begun. If you've watched all my tutorials in the past, you know I write so fast I don't know how to spell. Okay, and here we're gonna call that ground. And then let's create another one. We're gonna call that wall. And then you're gonna create another one, and you're gonna call that soldier. Okay. Now, I wanted you guys to do this so that your next step when you bring the rocks will be to organize yourself properly by creating the scene that you saw here, okay? We have to recreate this whole entire terrain here, all right? So that's what we have to recreate here, okay? So that's what we have to do right now. So go down to your ground and click import. And what we want to do is you want to go to this folder called folder for YouTube. That's your folder. Okay, there are going to be some OBJs in here. Click on this, and we want to bring this right here, rock volcanic. Okay, so this is a rock from Megascan Quixel that is free. Okay, so because it's free, we can use it as we see fit. Okay, there are many types of rocks here. This is mainly for filmmaking. Okay, so if you're doing a quick scene and you don't need that many rocks, this is perfect. Okay, but these are mostly what you would be using if you had a whole bunch of rocks in your scene, especially in video game. I'm making a video game right now in Unity, and I'm using a whole bunch of LODs. Okay, that being said, I'm gonna click on this, and then I'm also gonna click on this so you guys can see the difference between the two. Okay, and I'm going to bring it in when it's ready. There it is, and we're going to click on normalize size, and we're going to do the same thing for this one so you guys can see the difference. All right, LOD versus high-end quality. Okay, this would mainly be used for like movies or video games too, but if you have a scene that doesn't require a lot. And this is mostly used for video games or a film too, if you have a whole bunch of rocks all over the place. Okay, hopefully that made sense. I needed to tell you guys this so you would understand how to use the most out of your computer. Okay, all right, once we are here like this, I want you guys to just concentrate in recreating what you saw out there. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm going to bring in one that I already did. Okay, and I'm just gonna call that master rocks environment. Click OK, and it is located in here. OBJ for tutorial. I created this in Element 3D, then I turned everything into just one OBJ file. Okay, so there it is right here, and it's about 144 something, yeah, 148 megabytes. And I click OK, and as you can see, it's gonna pop up. But when it pops up, it's gonna look kind of weird, and I'll tell you why it's looking kind of weird. And it might take a few seconds for it to load, and there it is right there. What I'm also gonna do is turn this off. Oh, actually it turned out pretty good. It didn't turn out weird. When I did it, there was a bug in Element 3D, so all these angles were off, and it was super frustrating. And so I'm glad that it didn't turn out here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, however, is minimize it, so because I need it to fit in here just like that. Okay, so I'll say 40. I'm gonna click here, boom, just like that. All right, so it should look something like this. Okay, so pause it right here, construct your rocks, and make sure it looks something like this. So here are all the rocks here. You have the outer rocks, and you have this section here for the soldier, and you have our base right here. Okay, just like this. You guys can do it the same as you see here, or you guys can create your own. Okay, but it should look something like this. Okay, I'm assuming now that you guys have constructed something like this, and now it looks like this. All right, the next step is to just bring in our soldier. So we created the file for the soldier already. All right, so in this folder here, you should have your walls, and in this folder here, you should have your whole entire ground. Okay, and you should also create a new folder. Let's move this up here like that, and that one should be called base. Okay, so separating everything is very important, because once you start having a whole bunch of meshes that you're constructing or you're putting together, you need to make sure where they all belong. So your base would belong here, your outer wall would be in here, your ground is here, and of course the master is mine. But the soldier, let's bring in our soldier right now. Right there, click on the soldier, click on the OBJ, click OK, and the soldier will pop up right here. Click on normalize size. There you go. And once again, the soldier, guys, you've seen in my previous tutorials, I've used the soldier quite a bit, It comes from Mixamo, okay, and Mixamo is something that you already have for free if you have an Adobe account, okay. Mixamo has a whole bunch of 3D characters that have mocaps on them, okay, and that's really cool because a lot of video gamers use Mixamo, and a lot of us 3D artists use Mixamo too, and visual effects artists too, okay. So once we have him right here, let's just move him up like this, so he's just like this for now, okay. So once we have him like this, no worries. What we have to do now is we have to take him down here like this, and we have to make him into group 2, okay. The reason why we do this is because if you want to give him a whole bunch of animation, you have to make him into his own group, because if you mix him with one group and you throw him in a auxiliary channel, it's going to be very difficult for things to happen, unless if you have 25,000 things in your scene and they need to all be moving. If you're doing it that way, it's okay to put them in auxiliary channel or to create nulls from After Effects, all right. But since we're keeping things very simple, I like to separate everything so I know exactly where everything is at, okay. And the next thing is you have to keep your anything that is an OBJ that has movement at the center of Element 3D. Now, you don't have to do that for any other 3D application software, but for Element 3D, you have to. And then once you go into your After Effects scene, use the null to control your 3D object to wherever you want him or her or it to be. Because if you don't do that, and the OBJ sequence start kicking in, and your OBJ is making movements, this is what's gonna happen. So let's say he's talking to somebody, right? But as he's talking to somebody, he's moving like this. And the reason why this is happening is because your OBJ is trying to find its center of gravity. And if it's right here, it's thinking it's still here. So I don't know why it's doing this in Element 3D. I don't know if anybody has told the team to fix it, but you know, it's still a problem. And so that's why I keep everything in the center. And then in the After Effects scene, I use my null to just control my OBJ object wherever I want him or her or it to be, okay. So that being said, let's click OK right now, and he should be right here in our scene. And it's going to take a few seconds to load, so let's just let that load for a little bit. There it is, and click here. Oops, we haven't created a camera for it yet. So once you are here, go to Layer, go to New, go to Camera. I want it to be 24 millimeters because I want a wide shot, okay? Click OK. Once you are here, then we have the ability to control our soldier. Once we are here, we'll bring the lights in later. We just need to make sure everything looks proper now. So once you're here, click on your solid here, go to group 2 because we know the soldier is in group 2, okay? Go down to create group null and click create. Once you create that null here is specifically designed just for group 2. Let's say you have things in auxiliary channels. Okay, if you have things in auxiliary channels, then you just go to layer, new, and create a null. Once you create a null, all you have to do is link all of these to the null, and you have full control of anything that you create. But the only thing that is a bummer with that is sometimes it's very difficult to do it that way. Hopefully in version 3, all these little things will be fixed, and it'll be much easier for us to control anything that we want to control, okay? But for now, this is pretty amazing as is, all right? So let's go to a null here, and I know for a fact that this guy needs to be at 0.4, okay? So I just want to show you guys this really quick so you can see what I'm talking about, okay? The reason why you want to control the size in After Effects and not in Element 3D is because you have more control of what you're doing. So let's say we take him down to 50, there it is, and then we take him down to, you know, 1. So like I said, 0.4 was when he was actually pretty good. And so if we click this away and you keep zooming in, he looks pretty good. He looks pretty sharp and it looks proper to the size of the base. Okay, so once you have that figured out, then you take him back to his regular size, and from there we just back everything out. There you go. And what we want to do now is move him over here. There he is right there. So we need to move up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is, I'm glad that I ran through this mistake here, because now I'm gonna show you guys how to fix this. You have one camera, but the camera doesn't want you to do anything. Why? Is because its center point is right at the center of this whole entire mesh, and it's not at where we want it to be. So let's go ahead and zoom out really quick. This point right here is right here, so the camera is stopping right there, so we want this point to be right here. Okay, and so now when we go back into our first view and we start zooming in, you're gonna see, boom, we're able to zoom back in properly, and we know exactly where our little guy is. Okay, hopefully this is another tip for you guys. Okay, hopefully that helps you guys for your later projects. There you go. Let's continue to move him right there. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. Okay, there you go. So that's as best as we possibly can make him right now. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there. So let's zoom out real quick. There it is, just like that. Okay guys, so we are back here and we are going to do some camera motion. Now for anybody who's worked with After Effects for eons, you guys will all agree with me that when After Effects started, they didn't have the best camera motions, but as time went on, it got better and better to the point where the cameras are actually pretty good right now. If you are new to the camera motions in After Effects, it could be very daunting and very frustrating, but once you get used to them, like anything else, it'll be very quick and easy. So me setting all these cameras took like 25 minutes. Okay, but for those of you who are new, it might take 2 to 3 hours. Okay, because it's very frustrating at first when you don't know how to use them properly. Hopefully how I'm about to share them with you will help you use them faster, have the knowledge you need to get it done quicker. Okay, so let's get started right here. What you have to do, what you always have to do, is do 2 views. Every time you do camera movements, you gotta do 2 views. The first one on your right is your live motion movements in real time, and this one here is to see exactly what you're doing, because if you started like this, 100% I guarantee you, you would not know where to go and it would be super frustrating. Okay, having 2 views, watching from the top, the right, the left, the back, or the front is exactly what you need to do to make sure that you're creating the best movements possible. Okay, that being said, I'm also going to open this and also going to tell you that you need a master camera. The master camera is just a camera to tell you exactly what you're doing. You can move that camera wherever you want, and that totally helps you understanding where your shot is. Okay, once you have the shot right, then you set a new camera to recreate that shot. Okay, so let's get started right here. So as you guys can see, we are starting here. Our point of interest is right here, because I want my camera to fly through, see the plane, and then as soon as it gets here, I want it to do something completely different so that we can pivot around to see our little dude right here. Okay, so let's look at what it's doing right now. So we're gonna move forward, and as you guys can see through here, it's doing exactly what we want, and boom, we are seeing the ship to our right, and as soon as we get here, you think you're gonna go straight, but it stops here, and as it stops here, you can see here what's happening. The point of interest has been shifted downwards right here, and so these 2 points are gonna cross now, and as it crosses, here's your cinematic shot right here. Okay, we're getting close to the mountain, but we're not touching them, and we get super close to the point where we're wondering what we're gonna be looking at, and boom, it's a soldier right here. Okay, so this is a 100% cinematic shot right there in After Effects. Okay, so that looks really, really cool. So what you guys can do next is just elongate the shot and just pivot even further to the left. Okay, but I wanted to try to duplicate what I did earlier, so I just moved straight to the next shot. The next shot is just a close-up shot of our soldier here, and he's got a HUD right there. Okay, guys, I found this HUD online for free, okay, but because it was free, it wasn't the greatest quality. Okay, it was 720p and I'm doing things in 4K. Of course it was horrible looking, but I still used it because it still worked. Okay, I didn't need it to be 4K, but I advise you guys to just buy stuff so that you guys can have the best quality. Okay, these are tutorials, so I'm always trying to find free things and just leave them in a folder for you guys too. Okay, but that being said, it goes into this shot here, and then it moves into what we're seeing. It's as if we are the soldier looking through his eyes or her eyes, and then boom, this is it right here. So when that goes through, we shift over to the back of the soldier, because now we want to see what he's looking at through a master shot. And so there it is right here, and then we are 100%, as you guys can look here, going straight to them. How did we do that? How do we go straight to them and then pivot just like that? How do we do that? Easy, guys. Remember the point of interest, right? The point of interest is key to After Effects cameras. Okay, that was the one thing I struggled with the most. I could not understand why I could not make the camera do what I wanted to do until I realized this point of interest is the most important part of the camera. Once you move that point of interest wherever you want, the camera will go there, period, no questions asked. And so this is it right here. And so again, as soon as it got here, I set new key points to make sure right there that the camera is pivoting then. Okay, and boom, there it starts pivoting, and it does exactly what I wanted to do, which is just do a quick view of the base, and that's it. That's pretty much how you do it. And then we move on to the next shot, and boom, the next shot is the plane. Now I paused it right here because I wanted to help you guys move the plane up now. Okay, very simple. So let's go back to our group here. So remember, the first null is for the soldier and the second null is for the plane. So make sure you name that. Group null 2. All right, not Spider-Man. What am I doing? Soldier. And right here is ship. Oh my goodness. Wow. Come on. There you go. And so from here to here, all we have to do is set a keyframe. Okay, so we're gonna set a keyframe for a position. And so how far up did I give time for? Okay, so about right there to right there, we are simply moving the plane up. So that's it, just like that. Boom, it's out of the shot, and get right here, and that's it, right? Pretty cool. And then as soon as you get here, it shifts over to this right here. Okay, all right guys, so that takes care of this. And on next phase here, I'm going to show you guys how to make that plane fly by. Okay, all right guys, let's go ahead and finish it with this ship flyby here before the destructions of the building. I wanted to do this one with you guys so that you guys could see how these things can be created. Okay, so the first thing we need to talk about is me separating these two solids here. Okay, these two are the same exact solid. I separated them so that I would know exactly that this is something that I'm working on the side along with the whole entire scene. Okay, and that to me visually helps me understand what I'm doing by breaking them down properly. Okay, also for the nulls, I never break the nulls down because I want to be able to see everything that I'm doing on one entire timeline. Okay, and so for me, I never break the nulls down, but you might want to break the nulls down too if you are breaking the solid down as well. Totally up to you guys. Okay, I shut off all of my other cameras so that I could only see this camera here, and it would be helpful for you guys too to do that too, so that as you guys can see earlier, we had cameras everywhere. All right, and to the eyes it's very confusing sometimes. My solid for my camera flyby is here, and this is the one that we're going to be using. All right, so that's very important. I'm going to shut this one off too here. And then we have our null here. So I renamed the nulls because I wanted to make sure that I wouldn't confuse myself. So I advise and encourage you guys to name everything, because once you have 600 solids in After Effects, you'd be glad that you named everything. All right. Okay, that being said, let's get started right away. I'm going to open the null, and what I want to do now is bring my ship to the camera, because I already set this camera and I would just want to bring the ship to it. Okay, that's one thing that I always do. I always set my cameras first, and then I bring my OBJs to the camera, okay, instead of bringing the OBJs there and then bringing the camera to it. All right, so most of the time my cameras are already set up. Okay, the only time where I'm bringing the camera to the OBJs is if I'm trying to create a very cool cinematic shot. All right, just like the first one that you guys saw. So let's go and do that right now by simply moving our null around, and hopefully it meets where the camera is. And because it's on the same timeline, it automatically created a new point for us. Okay, so that when the scene shifts from here, from this to this, or it was from a different scene, close-up scene to this, it goes straight to this shot already. Okay, and that's the point I was trying to make there. And so now it's all a matter of moving the ship where we want it to be so it looks cool. All right, so once you have that, it's equally important to click on your camera and set your point of interest right away. Okay, so here's my point of interest locked on the ship. I'm also going to move my camera around to make sure that it looks cool with the ship. There it is. That's a good shot right there. And so from here to here, I already have my point set here. I'm automatically going to set my point of interest and my position for this shot here, and I know that it ends about right there. So I'm from right there to right there. I'm simply going to take my ship to a point that I want. So my point is right there. So now I'm taking my ship all the way here, and there it is. It's going to stop right there. Once it stopped right there, I'm equally going to take my camera to it, and because my point of interest is locked, it's just gonna go into a straight shot. Okay, and there it is. We're back to the same point. So if we move back, boom, just like that, we are following the ship, and that's pretty cool. All right, okay guys, so that takes care of this following the ship section here. Alright guys, same thing right here. We're gonna use the same way we've been moving our ship and our cameras to finish this scene right here. So I set my camera here that you guys saw earlier, looking at the base right here, okay, and I split my solid into a third solid that would be specifically dedicated to the base explosion here. So let's go and rename that really quick. Scene 3 base explosion. And once again guys, you guys are all gonna have your own ways of doing this, but seeing the way I do it will give you an idea of how you want to do it for your next scenes. Okay, and we are still using our ship null right here, so I'm gonna open that up really quick. As you guys can see, I already set up my next scene for you guys, because by now you should know how to do this properly, so you guys can set this scene on your own. Okay, gotta walk you guys through it so you know how I did it. Okay, so here is my camera right here that we talked about. The camera is staying exactly where it's at. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so there's no need to put some keyframes for it. And I set up my missile light, and I'm using optical flares here from Video Copilot. So again, invest into what Video Copilot has to offer, guys. They make a lot of free things, but you know, when they do have things that you have to pay for, man, those are really great too. So invest and get what they have. Also here I have some explosion, again from the Video Copilot Action Essentials. All these are 720p, and until the 2K pack, you know, lowers its price on the site, I'm probably not gonna need it just yet, because since these are just explosions, unless if you're doing like very far scenes and you need a 4K, you know, shot, because when you do far scenes and you have 4K or 6K shots, you don't have to scale down. You just keep it the way it is and it looks great, and you just put some blur in it so that it looks real from far. Okay, but when you're doing things in 4K and you have a video that is 720p from the Action Essential pack, you have to scale it up if you're doing some far shots, and sometimes, or you have to scale it if you're doing some close-up shots too, and so you lose quality in that footage. Okay, that's why it's important to get the best quality possible. But right now I don't need any of these yet, until one day somebody hires me and say, hey, I need you for some cool explosion, then I'm gonna have to get some 4K packs. Okay, but that being said, that's exactly what I did here for the explosion. I'm gonna open this up so you guys can see exactly what they are, and here they're all right there. Okay, these are all the explosion that I put together to create this very cool looking realistic explosion here. Okay, so let's go back to our scene here, and I'm gonna bring this back here to the start here, and let's walk through it right now. So here's the null. That's our ship right here. I'm having the ship go straight forward, and then I'm having it turn right here, and as it's going straight forward, it's going to shoot its missile that will hit the base, and then he takes off at the same time. So it should look something like this. See, as you can see, we see the ship coming through here, and it shoots the missile, and it keeps going forward right there, and it starts to leave the scene before the explosion. And as it does that, the missile here is moving straight toward the base. Okay, and so now you're probably asking me, okay, optical flare is 2D. How did you make that look like it was 3D? Very simple, guys. So it's an illusion. Okay, so we know that it's moving forward. So as it's moving forward, you take the flare and you make it go up. Okay, as it's going up, then you again take the flare and you give it a loop. So you go up, down, up, down. But as you do that, what you're doing is you're scaling down on the brightness. When you scale down on the brightness and you can make it go up like that, it gives you the illusion that is being shot forward. Okay, and man, that illusion's been done for eons. Okay, so that was pretty easy here to do, and as soon as it does that, it hits here and boom. This is when we have our first explosion, and then everything else just takes over, and it looks like my smoke here is out of whack. So I'm going to, you know, I'm just gonna leave it like this. It's a tutorial, guys. All right, I'm sorry if my explosion here is totally out of whack. All right, yeah, that was supposed to go first and it didn't go first. It's okay, I'll just leave it right there so you guys can see that, you know, you have to really figure things out. Okay, all right, so here's that right there, and it looks just like this. Okay, so that's pretty much how I did this part right here. And one thing to also say is when your flare hits right here, you have to go down to your opacity and take it down to 0. Okay, so it disappears, and what appears is the fire, the explosion, and that creates realism. Okay, that being said, guys, that takes care of the explosion right there and the ship flying through, shooting the missile. Alright guys, I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial. I had such a great time putting it together. The tutorials are getting better and better because I really want to start moving toward the realm of creating very realistic things and continuously pushing my skill and knowledge to the next level. That being said, guys, if you guys really enjoyed the tutorial, if you guys learned something from this tutorial, you guys know what to do. Please continue to like and subscribe. Let everybody know who I am. Let them come on my channel, learn a few tricks and trades here and there as well. That being said, guys, I do want to be able to do this full time, so please, if you can, $1, $5, anything that you can afford, greatly appreciated. Be a patron on my channel so I can do this every single day and create more and more awesome tutorial contents for you guys. Okay, that being said, everybody, my name is Lobo. The channel is called ZooPF Visual Effects. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye now.